Hello everyone. So now we came up with a topic which is basic follower motion. So we know that the cam is going to rotate. We have cam and follower, right? The cam is continuously going to rotate. So this is your cam. Yes. And this is the shaft of your cam. And you have the follower over here. The follower is reciprocating or having a translationary motion along the guides which are available here, right? So now you know that the follower is going to have a specific type of motion, right? The follower is the thing which controls the motion. For instance, in your automobiles, you have the valves controlling, right? So the valve of automobile is controlled by the follower. So that's why it is very, very, very important to study the follower motions. What are the different type of basic follower motions? So we have few types of basic follower motions, which are as follows. So number one, we have uniform motion. Uniform motion, or it's called uniform velocity. And number two, we have simple harmonic motion of the follower. Number three, we have uniform acceleration and retardation. Retardation or deceleration also, you can call it uniform acceleration and retardation motion, or uniform acceleration deceleration motion. And the fourth one is cycloidal motion. So depending on your requirement, depending after only studying all these motions, we can decide that what type of motion is most desirable for your design. Either uniform velocity or simple harmonic or uniform acceleration retardation or cycloidal motion. You need to study about each one of these motions. This motion is relating to what? This motion is relating to the follower motion. Okay. So basic follower motion. So this is the follower motion. Cam will always have a constant angular velocity. Omega is always constant. So remember, follower has the motion which is a constant angular velocity motion, but follower can have any one of these three motions: uniform velocity, simple harmonic, uniform acceleration retardation, or cycloidal. Okay, so now graphically we will see that what is actually happening and why are we studying all these things. We are going to graphically notice each and everything. Right now I am going to represent a y-axis. These are reference, and we have an x-axis. So let us draw it as long as possible. Fine. And now we can mention few things, such as on the x-axis I am going to represent theta, which is the cam rotation. And why am I representing it? You will come to know very soon. So it is cam rotation. It means the angle turned by the cam. Okay, the angle rotated by the cam is cam rotation. And on the y-axis, we are going to represent the lift. So this is y-axis which goes up. It is here we represent the lift, L-I-F-T. Now what is cam rotation and what is actually the lift? Why are we representing cam rotation over here? Fine. So those things I'll explain with the help of this diagram. On the left hand side, you have the cam diagram and you have the cam profile. So let's say this is your cam profile. Okay. And then you have this dotted line, which is not actually the cam profile, right? This is not actually the cam profile, the dotted line. It's a base circle. I think everyone knows that it is the base circle. And this is the center of the rotation of the cam. And you have a prime circle, you have a pitch curve, right? Pitch curve means you have to draw parallel to the cam profile. In the previous class, the nomic nature is already discussed. So this is the pitch curve. And then you have prime circle. Fine. Yes. And next we are going for the follower. See, right now if the follower is present here, and this is the trace point in the center of the follower, trace point. So now we check the motion of the follower using the trace point, right? What is our job right now? Our job is to study the basic follower motions. Now to study the basic follower motions, I need a point, right? So we will take the trace point itself. So what is the lowest point the trace point can be in contact? Or what is the lowest point the trace point will go while the cam is rotating? What is the lowest point? So the lowest point obviously will be this point. See, it cannot go, the trace point cannot go beyond this point. Why? Because see, this is the least position, while see the base circle is the least circle, right? Base circle is the smallest circle. So the cam can only be in contact till this circle. It cannot go beyond it. When will it be in contact? Whenever your cam comes in contact with this portion. If you check this portion, only from here to here, it will be in this position. Remaining, it will go up. Right now, if you see, it's up. And then it is going to go still up. If it is going anti-clockwise, then it will come down. And this is the least position which you are seeing right now. Okay. The least position in which your cam will be there. Sorry, follower will be there. And if you see, if you draw a dotted line like this, horizontal line, yeah, if you draw a horizontal line, you will come to know actually from where your follower is being lifted up. Okay, the zero position you will come to know. I'm going to draw it with a straight line. Yes, so this is the zero position. Okay, let's draw with some other ink for your confusion will be far, right? So this is the least point where the cam will be. From here, the cam is going to go upwards, right? The cam is going to go upwards from that position. So this is the direction in which you are measuring the follower lift. Okay, and the highest position, for example, if this is the highest position, if you see right now, see if this is the highest position, you call this as your total lift from the down zero position to the total lift. Done. So let's say this is the total height with which your follower, the total height is too high, right, to show. Okay, let's make it smaller. We'll check properly. Mostly even this curve comes over here, this maybe mostly this height will be your highest point, because see this curve over here, the primes, you can see that the contact of the cam profile contact, the highest point will be here, where see here, this point will be the highest point. Okay, so little bit this trace point will go up, right? We are checking about the trace point. So the total height, you can say that this is your lift, the total lift of your cam, and you can name it L, the total lift in y direction, and y here is equal to 0, and at this point y is equal to L. Fine, y is equal to 0 because it is the starting point, and total y is equal to L. So that y axis is represented here from 0 to total height. Let's say that this is the maximum height it can go, the follower, and you can call it L. It is having a coordinate L. Now even the angle rotated is theta equal to 0. So we are saying that theta is equal to 0 when y is equal to 0. Okay, so we are calculating from this 0 position, and then as the theta rotates, you will get the total one rotation. You will say that theta is equal to 0 to theta is equal to 2 pi. Okay, so let's say that the total rotation of single rotation of cam is 2 pi. Fine, at 0 lift is 0. At some certain angle we will have the rise total rise of the when a follower. So total when it is theta equal to, call it theta rise. So let's say that the follower is moving with some type of motion. We are not saying right now what type of motion we are going to have. I'm just going to put the total height as a horizontal dotted line, reference line this is. So this is the total height with which the follower is going, and this is the area of theta rise. We can say that theta is having total rise. Theta rise is how much? Can you tell? Just measure it this way. You tell this total height is theta rise. Okay, from here to here, the cam rotation is theta rise. When theta is coming from 0 to theta rise, follower is coming from 0 to the total height L. Okay, so you call it theta rise because the theta is the follower is rising, so it called theta rise. This portion is called theta rise. And then for some time, if you take your automobile engines, for some time you will have dual period, right? Let's take this is the till here it's dual period, and then you will have again theta return It means the valve has to close, right? See, the meaning of what I'm saying is, this is your valve, for example, this is your valve, inlet valve of your fuel supply. So valve should first open. Only if the valve is open, you will have the air and fuel mixture coming inside, right? So the how is the valve opening? With some type of motion. Right now we are not saying it is simple harmonic, uniform acceleration, or uniform velocity, cycloidal. So because due to that motion only, this curve will be decided. But we are taking a general curve just to understand what are the different type of motion. We are taking a general curve. Okay, so this curve, using this curve means it will follow that type of motion, and the valve will rise. After rising, it has to remain in that position for some time, right? So this is dual period. It means it is not going up or not coming down. It means the follower is in this portion. See this uniform, here you have a uniform curve, right? So the follower is in that you can say it is in that area. And then finally, after it is open for some time, then again it has to close, right? Now the air is filled. Now it has to close. It will follow again some type of path. We can't say what type of path it's following, because till now we did not decide what type of motions are happening, right? So we can't say what type of path it will be following. Maybe this path it is following. Don't worry about the curves. Okay, it means now the theta is completely returned, right? So you call it theta return. It means the follower is returning, theta return. Follower is rising, theta rise. Okay, so this is what called theta return. From here to here you call it theta return, theta re return. And first you have a dual period, right? Dual period means the follower is not going up and not coming down. It is just in dual period. So this is called theta dual 1, and this portion is called theta dual 2 till 2 pi. And again the cycle will repeat. Again the cycle will repeat till 2 pi it started, right? So theta dual 1, theta dual 2. Okay, DWELL dual. So this is RISE rise, and this is return, RETURN return. So this is the basic motion. Actually, why if we represent x-axis with theta, what is the significance of it? So what is theta? Cam rotation, right? So theta is equal to, can I write omega into t? Theta, can we write omega into t? Because angular velocity is equal to angular displacement, you can say, sorry, angular distance traveled by time, right? So distance by time is velocity, right? Similar to that, theta is a distance traveled in angular position by time is equal to omega. So theta is equal to omega t. Omega is constant because I told, see, constant, omega is constant. So I can say theta is directly proportional to t, right? So theta is representing the time. Actually, in valve timing diagram, you study, right? For so much amount of time, yes, it should be open. It means whatever theta you mention there with some constant, it will vary. For example, I'm giving you an example. If I say you that, in valve timing diagram, theta rise is for 30 degrees. Okay, theta dwell is for 25 degrees. Theta return, RE. So let's take this 130 degrees first, because 360 degrees need to be completed, right? Then theta return also is 130 degrees. And then you have theta dwell period as how much? Just calculate. It is 260 260 plus 25 is 285, and then you have 75 theta d2. So total will come up to 360 degrees, right? This total is 360 degrees. So now if you want to know the time, for how much time will the for how much time is it going to be open, is the valve going to be open? So you can have this relation if omega is given, right? If omega is given, theta equal to theta r. Omega, for example, I have given, it is rotating with 2 radians per second. It's very small value, but still 2 radians per second. Now substitute it. Theta is theta r. It means 30 degrees. 30 degrees means what? Just 130, sorry, 130 into pi by 180 completed into radians. Okay, is equal to omega. Omega is 2 multiplied by t. So you'll get how many seconds. For how many seconds it is in rise. Okay, means at that total, how much time did it take to rise? Okay, how many seconds did it take to rise? So I'm calculating it right now for you. 330 into pi value divided by 180 into 2, right? So you got 1 point t is equal to 1.13 seconds. It means it took 1.13 seconds for the cam to rise. It means it took 1.13 seconds for the if the cam is rising, if this is the connection, okay, you have this bell crank lever, right? And previously I already gave how what is happening. So if the cam is rising, it means the valve is opening. It's in the reverse direction, right? Valve is opening. So valve is opening in 1.13 second. For how much time is the valve in dual period? Just check. Dual one is 25. So 25 into pi by 180 divided by 2, because this 2 radians per second, right? Same way you can substitute. And how much time is required for dual? So based on that, you can do even reverse engineering and set the theta rise and theta dual and theta return based on the how much time you need the valve open, how much time you need the valve to be dual, how much time you need the valve to be coming back, and how much time again return. Fine, the cycle will continue. After 2 pi, again it will come from starting. Again 0 degrees, again rise, again dwell, again return, again dwell, again 0, again rise, dwell, return, dwell, rise, dwell, return, dwell. So this cycle is going to continue continuously. But now we have to decide that how should the valve open. See, you have so many cases. For example, you have your own vehicle, okay? You have your own bicycle. Yes, you have your own bicycle, you have your own bike. So this is your bike, for instance. Fine. And this is your seat. Now, how many ways do you have to move the bike? How many ways can you move the bike? I can move the bike by slowly accelerating, right? By slowly giving acceleration, I can move the bike. Fine. Or I can give sudden acceleration. It means very high acceleration. You know that you'll have a very high sound and suddenly the vehicle will move. Yes, slowly you can move if you are a smooth rider. No, if you are a racer, you will give the racing very high and you'll hold the clutch. As soon as the racing has started, you leave the clutch so that the vehicle will suddenly move with a jerk. You'll have a sudden jerk, right? So that is a type of motion. And you will have, so these different, see, based on these motions only, those are there. These 4 type of motions, okay? So this here even in valves also, do you want a sudden jerk in the valve? Opening suddenly, top, or do you want a slow opening of the valve? So it entirely depends on these motions. So now we can discuss step by step what are the different motions in the coming in the next slide. Type of motion which we are going to study in the topic is the uniform velocity. So uniform velocity. I hope you understood why are we studying these motions. So uniform velocity. Now in uniform velocity, what happens is, again we are going to take the x and y axis. On x-axis, we take the cam rotation. On y-axis, we take the lift of the follower. I hope that that is very clear to everyone. So over here, let's say that this part is theta rise, right? Theta dwell, theta return, again theta dwell. And let me take a reference lines. We'll take the reference lines with a very, very slight color. Yes. So this is from here to here part is theta rise. From here to here part is theta dwell 1. From here to here the part is theta dwell, return. And finally, let's say that theta dwell 2 is from here to here. Fine. And then the total lift is mentioned on the y-axis. This is the total lift. Total lift. Okay. So these are the reference lines drawn now. So this point is theta rise. So I can say theta rise. So here theta d1 total. So here theta return. It means from here to here it's return. Okay. And from here to here, next point is theta d2, dwell 2. Now, and this is the total lift of the total lift. So I will say this is the total lift from 0 to L. To L. L is the total lift. Okay. And actually this direction is represented by y-axis and this direction is represented by theta. Okay, you called y terms, and this is theta actually, rotation of cam. So y and rotation of cam. Okay, so now how is the motion happening? The motion is happening in a uniform manner, right? So for uniform velocity, this is the line which we connect just first point and last point. It means uniformly the point is the cam is the follower is having a uniform velocity motion. So this is the line which we are connecting, and then we connect the dwell period. So this is dwell, which where there is no motion. This is the return for uniform velocity. This is the displacement diagram. We call it displacement diagram. Okay, so the displacement is very uniform. As the cam rotates by the equal amount, the follower also will, by the equal units, the follower also will be raised. Okay, so it's like x comma y values, y comma theta values will be same, like 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3, 4 comma 4, 5 comma 5, 6 comma 6, 7 comma 7. So that way, fine. But this is in terms of theta, and the lift is in terms of y. So only that is the difference. Okay, so now we have to write an equation for this type of motion. An equation should be written so that mathematically we are having the proof. Okay, the total length is 2 pi. I'll be mentioning the total length. The total length from here to here is 2 pi. It is 2 pi. So now as theta, see, I can say that as theta goes to theta Ri, yes, as theta goes to theta Ri, you can say that y is tending to L, right? As theta is tending to theta Ri, y is tending to L. So from here, I can write an equation. Y is equal to L into theta by theta Ri. You can say it is directly, or you can write as theta is equal to theta Ri, then y is equal to L, and you can just do the cross multiplication, right? You can do the cross multiplication and find out, or you can take the ratios also. Theta by theta Ri is equal to y by L. That is also a way to solve. Theta by theta Ri is equal to y by L. This is called method of ratios also. So theta by theta Ri will be equal to y by L. So because they are connected to each other, you can write this equation that way. And now you can even check it for a proof. You check it for proof, you will get the instant solution if you differentiate it. Yes, if you want the velocity. Now see, this displacement equation is y is equal to L into theta by theta Ri. Check it. Check it. If theta equal to theta Ri, what will happen? See, when theta equal to 0, what is the value of y? Put theta equal to 0. Theta equal to 0. I get y also equal to 0. Substitute in that equation. Yes or no? Is it true? Yes. When theta is equal to theta Ri, what did I get? Y. I am getting y is equal to L. If you substitute in this equation over here. Substitute in that equation, you will get y is equal to L. Yes or no? So it will satisfy for each and every position between I am only telling the relation between 0 less than or equal to theta is less than or equal to theta Ri. It will only satisfy in between 0 and theta Ri. So this is the 0 value. So this equation is only valid between t0 and theta Ri. So we will only derive equations between 0 and theta Ri because the remaining portion is following the same motion. Okay, just the opposite direction. Here it is increasing, there it is decreasing. Okay, if we solve for this one position, it's more than enough. Now to solve for velocity, what is velocity of the follower? Velocity is dy by dt. But do we have dt term in the RHS? No. So what we are going to do is, I have theta because theta is the variant, not t, and theta is directly proportional to t, right? So what we do is we multiply and divide with d theta so that it is still equivalent equation. So what is d theta by dt? I can just differentiate it with, see, dy by d theta means differentiate it with respect to theta, the initial equation. So I'm getting d theta by dt is, this value is omega. Yes, rate of change of angle. Rate of change of angle is, theta is the angle, rate of change of angle is omega. So I get omega multiplied by, now differentiate this equation, differentiate it, I will get L by theta Ri, right? So we got velocity is equal to, omega L by theta Ri. So this is the value which we get, right? So this is the value which we get. So initially it means for this motion to happen, you need constant velocity, right? Omega L by theta Ri. Do we have any theta term here? to substitute theta equal to 0? No, it means even at 0 theta angle, you have some velocity present. It means the velocity is a constant velocity. Fine. It means initially itself you'll have some velocity value. If you substitute omega, L and theta ri values, initially itself the velocity is there. If the velocity is present, so the acceleration will be infinite. If you need initially some velocity, will you need, see the common sense. With some common sense, I'll try to explain. Just check this out. See, there is a condition that you have a vehicle. There is a condition that you have a vehicle. Initially, without start, initially, it means at time 0, I'll give, okay, time is 0.000000001 second. I want 10 kilometer per hour speed. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible, but I have to give infinite acceleration. It means acceleration should be given very, 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 very high, right? So acceleration will tend to positive infinite. In the starting condition, remember each and every point which I am telling right now, because we are going to use it in the next video. Fine, in the next slide, I'm going to use these values. So initially I am going to have some value, right, of acceleration. And at this point, for example, if you see, you still have the same velocity, but suddenly the follower is coming to rest. It means from a constant velocity, if you want to go to zero value, it means I'm going with 10 kilometer per hour speed. Suddenly I want a zero speed. See, even if you brake, immediately you're not going to zero speed, right? So immediately if you want to go to zero speed, you need infinite retardation. Retardation or deceleration means negative acceleration. It means negative acceleration, downwards it's shown, and it is negative infinite. So these values will be seen over here. And again from zero, if you need sudden accelerating, right, you have to come down, right, again slowly you have to accelerate, and then again suddenly you have to stop the motion. So based on this, you can draw velocity versus this cam angle, and acceleration versus cam angles also. We'll see it in the next slide. Our redrawing of all these things, follower motion and all. I'll just make it fast so that we can complete this topic, guys. So this is your follower, right? So rise, total rise, and then dual period, yes, and then return, and then again one more dual period. Just trace these points downwards. Trace these points downwards. Yes, and we'll trace over here also, and then even here we'll trace the point, and finally we'll trace the point even here. Yes. Yeah, and we can even trace the point here. And now I'm going to draw the velocity diagrams. So yes, so this one is for velocity. So now what is the velocity? We had an equation, velocity is equal to omega into L by theta RA, right? So write down that velocity is equal to omega L by theta RA. It means it is having a constant velocity right from the zero position. Right from the zero position, even without any displacement, it started with a velocity, and it is having a constant velocity. So constant velocity value is this. So wherever you check from theta to theta Ri, so this is Ri, right? So theta Ri. So from 0 to theta Ri, you have a constant velocity. This is what saying your velocity. So whatever height you see from here to here is constant. Yes, immediately it is going to 0, right? Velocity is coming to 0. No velocity, immediately it came to 0. Then again you have here also continue to 0, and then you have the velocity is direction is downwards, right? That's why we are showing it downwards here. Yes, the direction of velocity is downwards, and again constant, and again finally it has to come up, because again it has to start here. So velocity is having a sudden value from 0 to it has gone to omega L by theta Ri. So here I will write down the value. So V is equal to omega L by theta Ri. See, sudden change in velocity will need a lot of acceleration. Even intuitively, I'm explaining, right? Even you can check this in your vehicles also. So this is the acceleration diagram which I'm going to draw over here. So acceleration will be what? As I said, acceleration will be infinite. So here you need a positive infinite value over here. Yes, I'm just drawing the arrows right now. And then suddenly the velocity should be equal to 0. So here you'll have negative infinite value, right? And then it is kept constant for a while. Yes, it means the velocity is kept constant for a while. So after sudden drop, it has to keep constant for a while. So sudden again it has to rise, right? You have suddenly dropped it to 0 and keep it at 0. And then after keeping it at 0, okay, leave that point. Then we have come to this point where you have infinite. You will have what type of acceleration? You'll have a, you need to have a positive again. Sorry, it's in a negative direction, right? You will have a negative value over here of the same acceleration. And then again you have to stop it right over here. So you have a positive acceleration. I'll explain about it right now, don't worry. And then again constant, right? So it's again constant over here. See, just check the explanation. So here you are having a positive acceleration. It means from 0 to some constant value you need velocity. From here, see here, from positive value of velocity you come to 0. It means negative acceleration or retardation, you can call it. And then after giving negative acceleration, again the value has to be constant, right? About these constants will come again. Then from here check, it has no velocity, come in velocity, no velocity, but suddenly there needs some some velocity given and in the downward direction, right? So you again have a negative acceleration. And then again you here you have to stop it, right? You have to stop. Okay, here a small mistake has been done, guys, in the above diagram. Let me correct it. Actually, you'll get the value over here itself, closing. Okay, I have overseen that thing. See here itself, your value will close because yes, and then you'll have this value done. And here you'll have the blue line itself, the other side. Okay, so this is the value. So you have sudden dropping, right? Suddenly you have to again accelerate because see, even to if it is coming down, if a particle is coming down, okay, if you need to stop it, so you need to accelerate in the opposite direction, right? So that is the direction which is shown. So positive acceleration needs to be given here, positive acceleration. Again it's a dual period, it has to come to 0. Fine. So again it has to come to constant velocity. So for further study you can just go through the reference books, the textbooks. You will easily understand why and what type of arrows are drawn over here. Yes. Now explaining the other part. The other part is what? The other part is, see, whenever you accelerate from here, see, from here, suddenly velocity is given. So the acceleration is infinite. This is the acceleration, okay? Acceleration is infinite upwards. Now we need to maintain constant, and suddenly from this portion, you are coming to what? You are coming to the zero velocity. After zero velocity, if you need to maintain the zero velocity, equal and opposite acceleration again needs to give an yes or no. Again here you have to give a positive acceleration. Yes, this is the completing of the story. So again you have to give it the positive acceleration. Then after giving positive negative, see, you have positive and negative balanced out here. So the velocity is again constant. See, whenever you have velocity constant, you need acceleration to be 0, right? So here negative acceleration, here positive acceleration. So you have velocity to be constant. So this cancelled out. So again here, while it is coming down, velocity is coming downwards, right? So velocity is a vector. While it is coming up, going upwards, you said that it is a positive sign. Yes. So motion also is upwards and acceleration also is upwards. Fine. Here now the motion is downwards. Yes, the motion is downwards. So you have a negative acceleration. That's why you are showing with a negative acceleration. Okay, motion is downwards. So negative acceleration is shown here. And why negative acceleration? Because from 0, it needs some value, right? In the negative direction. So negative acceleration. And then finally, it has to be kept constant, right? If it has to be kept constant, whenever the velocity is constant, what did we say just now? we said that we need the accelerations to balance out here. So that's why we balanced out, and we write that this is your positive acceleration. And then finally, after this is zero, there is no velocity. Okay, the velocity is constant. If velocity is constant, acceleration is zero. So acceleration is zero in this part. And again, what happens is suddenly, see, if a particle is coming down, you need to apply opposite acceleration. That's why this acceleration is there, that you have applied. But again, here you have a constant velocity, right? So for constant velocity, I am again putting a negative over here. Okay, negative acceleration over there. So this is a negative acceleration. I'm retarding it. After retarding, immediately, if you check, the cycle repeats, right? After retarding, again it's constant, because it here you made it zero, again constant, and the cycle is repeating. The same sign which is over here will repeat on the opposite side. From negative acceleration, it has to suddenly go to positive again, because see, from zero it has to go up. So to keep it in zero, you have given negative acceleration, and again the cycle is repeating. Fine. So here, if you see at these portions, you have sudden acceleration change from negative to positive and positive to negative. Sudden change is happening, right? From negative to positive here. Then again from negative to positive, So sudden changes is happening. So this motion is not desirable. Okay, this motion is not desirable due to this sudden changes in velocity. That's why what we do is, at beginning and at the end, we give it some time. Okay, so that it can gradually accelerate and gradually decelerate. And this is the solution actually which we are talking about, is solution. But it's not a part of what is asked in the exams. Even if it is asked, you can answer right now. You just give it a curvature here, and remaining portion of the mechanism will follow constant uniform velocity. Okay, uniform velocity motion. Fine. So in the beginning and in the end, you will give small curvature, so that this is the solution, so that you won't get this infinite accelerations and retardations. Fine. To avoid this, you give some curves, so that it is not uniform velocity, but gradually the velocity is changing. So that if gradually the velocity is changing, it means the change in velocity, you will have a proper value of acceleration. It means not sudden change in acceleration, but gradual acceleration. For gradual change in velocity, you will need gradual acceleration, right? So that is given. So that is the solution finally. Okay, so this is about the uniform motion. Thank you. We'll meet in the next video. Hope you understood the concept.